Well, as we make our way towards the month of March, college basketball games and the flavor picks up in a frenzy, that's for sure. And for Leonard Hamilton and his Florida State basketball team, some big games here the rest of the way. And it's always great to catch up with the head man himself, the Hall of Fame head coach Leonard Hamilton. Here we go. It's that time of year, the month of March, right? It's always so special, no matter what the situation is overall. What's it like for you during this time?
For basketball fans, coaches, players, wannabe players all over the world, this is the greatest sporting event in the world, the NCAA tournament, March Madness. It's really a special time of the year where all over the world, the servicemen, everybody's locked into the TV. They have their little pools going on, their office pools, and they have the watch parties. It's just a fun, festive time of year. And it's just a great atmosphere and a tremendous event.
Yeah, without a doubt. And big games here towards the end of the regular season, building up to the ACC tournament in Charlotte for Coach Hamilton and his Florida State basketball team. You're focused, obviously, on getting your team into the best version of themselves, as you and I have talked about here over the last couple of weeks overall. But I'm sure it's been sentimental at times for you as well over the last few weeks with the outpouring, the reaction you've gotten from so many out there that have reached out to you, Coach. How would you put it into words over the last 3-4 weeks or so?
Well, it has not been that sentimental. Okay. To be honest with you, as a coach, you have to guard against that type of reactions. You still have a job to do. Yeah. And every team, every year during this time of year will find a way to get hot. There's going to be some Cinderella story around the country that's going to captivate the imagination of all the fans. We want to be one of those teams. Mm-hmm. So while we're going through this process and I'm winding down my career here at Florida State, I still have to stay focused on that which I can control, preparing ourselves every day. Sure, I don't know if I have anybody who knows me who I've ever met along the way that has not found some way to contact me or send me a text. And so I can spend half my day returning Texas. But I respect that, and I'm honored that I've had that type of run and those type of relationships. But in reality, I have to try to prepare ourselves and myself personally for the moments that we have to try that we are challenged by. Yeah. That's preparing, not getting too far ahead of ourselves, and taking it one game at a time approach.
You mentioned how in the month of March, there's always a team that captures that magic. You've been on those teams during your career. You won a national championship as an assistant coach at Kentucky in the late 1970s. Your teams at Oklahoma State and Miami have had postseason success, and obviously the great runs here at Florida State. When you think of your great teams you've been around, what are some of those characteristics?
I was very fortunate to have my first job was at Austin Peay State University. And we had been picked to finish last in the league. And with the players that we had brought in over that summer, we won the conference. And then we went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in the history of the school. And we were successful against Jacksonville, the team that had played in the Final Four the year before. Yeah. And then our second game was against the University of Kentucky. That's right. In the NCAA tournament. And we think we played them to a 106, 103 overtime game. So that's how my career kind of got started, being the underdog and trying to fight to have a chance to get to the NCAA tournament. So that kind of got me started in the right direction. That excitement, that the adrenaline that's flowing, and the pride you develop by doing something no one else thought that we could do. And my career has gone upward since then. Then I left Austin Peay and obviously I went to Kentucky and we won 9 conference championships, 3 Final Fours. Those were moments that I'll never forget.
Yeah. I think about you as a young assistant coach and getting in the drills and throwing elbows and throwing pads and doing some of those things. And it's, it truly is, as you talk about how connections are forged and relationships are built, you just never know along the way. And I mean, back in your time at Austin Peay, if you don't play Kentucky, who knows where that route goes for you, correct? When you think back upon those things and how they've come together, the Lord has a plan, doesn't he?
The most important thing that happened to me at Austin Peay, unfortunately, the full-time assistant coach became ill. And he resigned. And there I am forced into a position right out of college 1 year from playing with guys on the team older than me. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
So now the head coach, Lake Kelly, is on one end of the court teaching his drills. And I'm 23 years old on the other end of the court teaching the other drills. And so I was thrown right into the fire, but that was so great. That was so great for me to have that unique, special opportunity to be actually involved with teaching and part of the development plan in my first year out of college. And that enhanced me, gave me the confidence to carry myself as assistant coach when I really was a graduate assistant.
Yeah.
But I had all the responsibilities of a full-time assistant coach, which gave me all the confidence in the world. And then the year after that, going to the NCAA tournament, those are valuable lessons that's rare for anyone to have an opportunity to be involved with, especially at such a young age.
Yeah. When you first started to hear the possibilities of I could be the head coach at Florida State University, correct me if I'm wrong, you were doing sports talk radio in Miami, I believe, at the time. You're between the Wizards and coming to Florida State. And take me to that time when you wanted that next opportunity, and Florida State was one of those chances for you, Coach.
Well, to be very honest with you, there were several schools that had contacted me during that 1 year that I've had off in my coaching career. And I was, weighing the possibilities of which one that I should be interested in. And then the Florida State job became open, and I got to thinking about how interesting it would be to stay in the state of Florida. My family had really learned to enjoy the weather and just the overall fun of being in the state of Florida. How interesting it would be if Florida State was interested in me, and as fate would have it, they were just as interested in me as I was interested in them.
Yeah.
And once I got the call to visit with Dave Hart, we arranged a meeting, and it went uphill from there. In reality, I thought we had a lot in common. I thought that it was a good match for both of us. And that's how it basically got started. The thing, though, I guess that really piqued my interest, I'd been to Tallahassee a few times, and at the time they had brochures that were kind of passed around a little bit of the new practice facility that they were building here on campus, and which excited me because that meant that there was a new commitment to basketball at Florida State. And I thought that if they were investing a lot of money into their program to building a new basketball practice training facility, then that meant that they were serious about basketball, and that really made the job more attractive to me.
We're glad that you were attracted to it as well. That's for darn sure. It's been one amazing career here at Florida State University. Coach, when you think about your former players and you think about the guys that have come in contact with you, what do those guys mean to you overall?
Wow. Well, my whole career, it seems as though I've been able to establish good relationships, even as far back as the University of Tennessee at Martin. Obviously, I was the first African American to play ball there, and we won the championship my first year that I played. Every one of those guys that are still living are coming to my last game. Actually, I have 17 people coming from the University of Tennessee at Martin, and I went there in 1968. So you establish such fond memories and relationships that last forever. Gosh, I got players coming from Austin Peay, Kentucky, UT Martin, Miami, Florida State, and I might have a few coming from my high school. But that's what's so good about college sports. I wish that the rest of the world, especially America, could mirror the relationships that you establish in the friendships, and where it's not about what race you are or what you look like. It's about the relationships you build when you're in battle together. And I went home with some of those guys over the Christmas holidays, and gosh, when I was inducted into the Tennessee Hall of Fame, all of them came to be with me in that occasion. So it's just the relationships last forever, and everyone is in that foxhole together, and it's just a great feeling and a great sport to have relationship that lasts forever. I wish our society mirrored those type of relationships that we develop in sports.
Yeah, very well said. Speaking of relationships, senior day for the SMU game as well. I know it's a different time when you think of seniors, not your traditional 4th and 5th year guys that you had with how everything works right now in college athletics, but the guys that are going to be playing their last game in this building inside the Tucker Center for you. What do those guys mean to you?
Well, obviously we're celebrating that moment where they'll walk out there and get their plaques and their parents will be with them. That'll mean an awful lot. But in reality, those guys are a lot of them are first-year generation college students.
Sure.
Where they're setting an example for their relatives, their nieces, their nephews, their little brothers and sisters. They're setting a foundation for them to emulate, for them to look up to, and that means an awful lot to their families and for their children as they go on and get married and raise kids. Getting that degree sets a standard, but everybody's going to try to reach.
Yep.
So and it also at some point in time the ball's going to stop bouncing. It gives you credentials that you can open up some other doors for you, to have a better way of life, and that's probably one of the things that we as a staff we're proud to brag about a little bit. Because the fact that in the years that we've been here, I think it's about 23.
Yep.
We've only had 1 or 2 players not graduate.
Yeah.
In the history that have been with us for 4 years. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I've said many times, you've heard me say, that coaches only got Coach of the Year awards and Hall of Fame awards and NCAA trips and plaques and watches. And if those are the only things we have, and then our kids are not benefiting from the journey that they've gone with you, then what really have you done? But for those guys who have laid it on the line for you to get their degrees, and you develop those relationships, where they want to call you on Father's Day. They want to send you, they want to call you and talk to you on your birthday, and they want to, be a part. They want you to be a part of their life. They want you to meet their fiance. They want you to be at their weddings. They want to send you pictures of their families at Christmas. Those are the things that mean an awful lot to me.
Yeah.
Sure, I feel proud of the fact that we've had some accomplishment, most anything. But most importantly, the relationship you establish, and you're taking teenagers and you're ushering them into young adulthood, and that's something that'll last forever.
Yeah. Last thing for you, as we sit here in this venue, that you have brought so many amazing moments, the roar of this venue and this arena, when this place is at a fever pitch, what would you say to our fans about what they've meant to you over your time here at Florida State?
Well, when I look back at the start of my career here, we recognize the program needs a little fixing up a little bit. And for the patience that the fans has shown us, but the support that they've given us, how they've rallied behind us when we really need them in those big games, in those moments where we need a little extra juice, they provided for us. I can't say enough about the support that we've gotten from the administration, the student body, the boosters, the alumni, and the local fans. They've been a part of this journey, and all the NCAA tournaments and the awards that we've gotten. I feel like they've been just as much of a part of the success that we've had as anyone. We've all been in this together, and I'd like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. And I'm unbelievably, my family and I are so appreciative. And I only would say that, I guess you would say that I'm a Seminole today. I'll be a Seminole tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll be a Seminole forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think I could speak for everybody. We can't thank you enough. And a short story from me. When I was fortunate enough to take over for Gene Deckerhoff and have this great opportunity, I was obviously excited about everything Florida State had to offer. But what I was most excited about was that I was going to have a chance to meet you and work with and for you with your basketball program.
Well, you've done an outstanding job. They couldn't have hired anyone to place the legend Gene Deckerhoff in all what he's meant to our program. So I want to thank you very much for your loyal support and the fantastic job you've done bringing that voice to all the Seminole fans for each one of our games.
Yeah, you're the best.
Thank
I appreciate you. That's Leonard Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeff Culhane. For all your Florida State basketball needs, keep it locked into Seminoles.com and the Seminoles Unconquered app.